Hello, 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 hello. हेलो 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 हेलो। देता हूँ अपना फोन तेरे से ज्वाइन करके देखता हूँ। बेला सिया को। अरे यार मैंने तो इनको ग्रुप में लिंक ही नहीं दिया। ज्वाइन कहाँ से करेंगे? इनको लिंक तो दिया नहीं था मैंने 26 वाला सा। 24 22 26 ये रही। बोलेंगे लिंक दिया ही नहीं है। Okay guys, can you hear me? Can you hear me guys? Yeah.
Yes, we can hear you.
Cool. So let me just do the screen share. Okay, so today's section we are going to be basically deploying a Node app, basically Monstack app to AWS. So I think most of you have come across a situation where you need to deploy a Monstack application or simply a Node app. I mean, deploying a React app is pretty straightforward, but deploying a Node app is a bit tricky. So we will be basically learning today that how we should be deploying Monstack, where our front end will be in React and the back end will be in Node.js, right? We will be having Express and MongoDB also, and our Mongo is going to be on cloud, that is Atlas. So we will be deploying that, and we will be seeing that what are the steps that are involved and how to deploy that. So I think every one of you are pretty much clear with in deploying React app. I think, is there any doubt in that? I mean, if you anyone have faced any issues in deploying only a React app? If any one of you have any doubt in deploy how to have okay, so React is pretty clear. So I mean, that's pretty straightforward. You can deploy React applications in GitHub on I think Netify, on Firebase, on AWS Amplify, and those are pretty straightforward steps. Then there is not a much step involved because obviously that is only a front end application. But deploying a full Monstack app is a bit tricky. So before we start today's session, I mean, have you guys started with the test that you guys have been given? So let's just start with every one of you. So let's just start with Sambhavi. Sambhavi, okay, you haven't started. Okay, Monica, what's your status? Have you started with the test? Why? When you are going to start? I mean, the deadline is still till Monday, I guess. Gaurav, what about you? Google Gaurav. So guys, just yeah, please. I mean, I don't think that that will be a tough test. It will be pretty easy one. So please give it that, because that will be good for you, and you will be that will help also in placements also, right? So let's just start with today's discussion. So if any one of you have any repo that you guys want me to deploy, I mean, you can suggest me. You can suggest me with the repo link. I can deploy your applications on also. If you don't have, I can basically deploy some of my projects. But it will be good that if you guys have any repo, front end and back end, such that you have made a project where your back end is completely your backend is completely separate and your front end is completely separate. So if you guys want me to have, if you guys, anyone have any projects like that, you can share your repo and I can clone it, and I can then deploy it. And if you don't have, I can use my repo, because I do have a lot of repos, I mean, such projects. So anyone of you want me to deploy your applications, or should I use mine? Okay guys, so I'm assuming that I'm going to use mine. uh, but cool. So I'm going to have use mine, but that's not that's okay. uh, so let's just see that what all are the tools that we are going to need, and how we are basically, what are the steps that are involved, right? So let's just first clear this out, right? Deploying a MERN app, right? So we are basically going to deploy on AWS, and to be precise on EC2 EC2 instance, right? And we will be having Mongo. This will be Atlas Cloud, so we don't have to basically install MongoDB on our local EC2 instance. We'll be having Express as our server framework, right? And we will be having React, our front end app, right? So these are the things that we are going to have, right? So let's start with that. What are the requirement tools that we are? What are the steps, right? So let me start with front end repo. First, our front end repo, right? So I will be basically showing you guys one of it's not a project, but just a freelancing work that I made one of the website where basically my front end I use React to develop that front end of that website, and back end was in Node. I use Express and Mongo as a database, right? So let me show you guys what is the that website, and then we will be basically deploying that, because that application contains everything that you guys need or need to learn. It has APIs, it has everything. So let me just first show you the website. Right, so basically this is our application. This is a basically website which was basically done by me. This was a freelancing work that I did for one of my friends website. So if you guys can see that, right, we did we did in here we this is a pretty full stack website, and it have a lot of it has a lot of pages, and you guys can see the designs, the codes, and we did had in added a payment gateway also. So like if I just want to donate anything right here, right, I can basically click on it. I can pay it using my phone pay API, and it will be basically making the payment. So we did had I did also incorporated a payment gateway also. So we are going to have a discussion over it, this one, and I will be teaching you that how I basically deployed this project, right? So how I made this project and how I deployed it, right? So let's just have a discussion over it. So the front end is in React, of course. We have this login feature also. Everything like this is a fully fledged full stack application that you guys can be making in future. So let's just see the repos for this project. Okay, okay, so this is not my. So you guys have any question before that? You can ask me till I'm just logging into my account and showing you the repos. Of course, I do have it on my local, but I want to show that how basically how basically a full stack application was or looks like, right? Right. So basically, this is our front end. This is our front end repo. You guys can see that this is completely React, not a React. This was basically developed in Vue. But Vue and React are basically same, more or less. So we have this front end app. This is a front end code, and there is one back end code also. Right. So this is our back end codes, right? So let me show you guys on the local. So you guys see that my front end and back end is completely separate. The front end repo and the back end of this application should be separate, right? And your front end will be basically communicating with your back end through APIs only, right? So my back end have those APIs and my front end are consuming those APIs, and at the end of the day, I basically combine those things in a single app, and I deployed that using React, right? I deployed that on AWS, right? So let's just first see these repos locally, then it will be pretty clear.
अंशु,
Yes, Rahul.
हेलो। वो फ्रंट एंड और बैक एंड को अलग अलग डिप्लॉय करेंगे या मतलब एक साथ डिप्लॉय होगा?
नहीं राहुल, हम लोग एक साथ डिप्लॉय, मतलब इनकी जो रेपोज होती हैं, कोड होती है, अलग अलग होती हैं, बट जब डिप्लॉय होती है तो एक साथ होती है, बट कैसे होती है वो हम डिस्कस करेंगे अभी थोड़ी देर में, ठीक है?
ठीक है, ठीक है। वैसे हमें अगर बस बैक एंड को डिप्लॉय करना है तो वो भी वैसी होती है जैसे मतलब फ्रंट एंड होता है, या मतलब कुछ चेंजेस करने पड़ेंगे उसमें?
देखते हैं क्या चेंजेस अगर करने होते हैं, कुछ चेंजेस तो क्या चेंजेस करते हैं, राइट? वो भी देखते
ठीक है,
हैं.
ठीक है।
So guys, as you can see, this is our front end repo and it has all the code, right? So due to some issues, no, I mean, we had basically done that using Vue because this project had a small thing. I mean, this was not a pretty large scale project, so we decided to go with Vue because Vue are, if you guys, anyone of you have used Vue, I mean, Vue is basically a bit easier. The flow is a bit easier, and there are more of template code in React. Like in React we do there is a pretty small template code, but in Vue we had a there is a more support of templates code, right? So that's why we went with Vue, because that project needed some this whole website needed to be built within a week or so. So we decided to go with Vue in the front end, but Vue and React are mostly same. As you can see, these are the front end libraries where we build the front end, the whole front end of application separately, and we consume backend APIs for our thing, right? So if you have any full stack, if you will be building any full stack project where you need to want to have a separate, you want to build, like some of you have also, let me show that also. Like some of you have already, if you have done that, you have built that social media application. Let me show that. So you might have built a social media application where you basically in full stack project, but where in that project you have basically let's just, so you guys have only your front end was basically served by the server only, where you use EJS as your as your front end tool, right? As your view. So I did also, when I was doing that project, I basically separated out the whole back end and the front end, right? So I made the APIs, and I separated down the back end with the front end. So in companies, if you will be going, so there what happens is that any application, they have a separate front end repo, and they a separate backend repo. So these tools are completely separate, and these two things are pretty completely separate, and you communicate using APIs only, right? So you guys can see that this was all basically done in React only. So this is my Colossal, I named it as Colossal, the social media application that you guys were to build in full stack project. So I named it as Colossal, and this is the front end of that application, and that was the, and the second repo that you saw, that was basically the back end, right? So that's how you are going to be basically building your projects in companies. I mean, they have a separate any project have separate front end and back end repos. So now the thing is that you have a separate front end, you have a separate back end, and your back end is basically in Express, Mongo, and Node.js, right? And your front end is in React, Angular, or Vue. So what, how to deploy that, right? So let's just start with that. So first thing, that when you are done with your front end thing and everything is done, you need to fire. Generally, what happens is that when we run npm start, right? When we do npm start, what happens is that our project basically, okay, okay, so basically our project, so our project, what happens is that our project start in development mode, right? So there is a development server which basically, yeah. So there is a development server which basically serve our project, right? So let's just use this npm serve, right? So view have a bit different, like you do not have a start by default, so you have serve script. You guys can see here, that is the view cli that provides that. So when we say npm run serve, so it basically opens a development server, and basically the whole code is served by the development server, right? But in production mode, we don't use development server, because in our production environment, when we deploy, there is no development server that is going to be provided either by Vue or either by Angular or React. So you need to, our main server is basically Node.js, right? So you need to serve your whole pages or whole front end using your node server, right? And if you guys, can anyone tell me what is this public folder? Anyone tell me? And there is one more question. We say that React is a single page application, right? So what does it mean? So let me ask this question to let's just ask this question to Asutosh. There are two questions that I want to ask. First, what do we mean by when we say that React is a single page application? Please unmute yourself and answer. Okay, Varun, you there? Astos, you there?
Yes, sir.
This is Varun. Okay, Varun, can you tell me what do we mean by when we say that React is a single page application? What do you understand with that?
So, single page application is just like a single page application, like we have Facebook and Twitter. So, what happens in single page application is whenever we click on a particular link or some button on the page, it does not redirect us to a different page. Everything that renders on the same page without refreshing the page.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's what called a SPA, single page application.
Okay,
So
okay.
there are
Like,
some benefits of this as well, and there are some disadvantages as well. So
so let's
benefits is
not
that
go. Yeah, of course. Let's not go there. So you see there, when I'm going to about us, right? About us vision page, there is something. This is route, right? And there is one page that is getting rendered here, right?
yes, sir.
So you are saying that there is no refresh, but of course there is a kind of a refresh is happening, or the route is getting changed. So what? So this is seems to be a multi-page application. I mean, if you are, if we want to see that.
The URL might change,
Mhm.
but it is not redirecting us to a different page. Everything that is happening on the same page. Although we can change the URL using several browser-based APIs that we already know, but the data remains, everything remains on the same page. The page doesn't changes at all on its own, like Facebook and Twitter.
Yeah.
Even
So
Coding Ninja's application is SPA somewhere. So they are also using single page application to run the classroom page. So as the page doesn't transfer from one to another, it's just the data that transfers, and they render according to the whatever the front end engine they are using for templates.
cool. So that's very much well explained by Varun. So guys, the thing is that what happens is that when we say that there is a single page application, that means there is only single HTML page that are basically we are having. So as of now, you see that when we are using development server, development in development mode, the page that gets used to serve the whole content is index.html here, right? So this is index.html. So what happens is that the whole of your projects get converted into a single page that is index.html. So when I go to a different route, it doesn't mean there is a different web page that you are getting served by the server and that is getting rendered. No, that doesn't happen like that. We have only index.html file and everything is inside that. So when I go to when I go to this particular route, so basically I am mimicking this behavior using Redux router or a Vue router if I'm using Vue. And what is it is happening is that it is basically uh, so what happens is that there are loaders. If you guys have know, so what happens is there is a two type of kind of loading. One is called lazy loading. One is called I think yeah. So in lazy loading, what happens is that we do not load all the content at once. When we go to this website, we I do not render or download the load the whole content of this application, because this is a single page application, right? So when I go to this particular URL, all the content, all the everything that this website has, that is inside a single page, right? So all the content, CSS, all the things will be downloaded uh, just once when I go to this particular website. And then after that there is no refresh, no loading from the server or nothing from anywhere, right? Because this is a single page application. So in development mode, this index.html contains all your files and everything, and that is served by your development server. But in production mode, we need to have this file, right? So how to generate this file? So anyone have any idea how to generate this file for production mode? Gaurav?
बिल्ड करेंगे ना हाँ, शायद production में।
Yes, Rahul is
Yes,
right.
there are some command which we are going to build, then it is
Yeah.
then it build our
So
full
I'm
project.
I'm basically going to run this npm run build. So this is same for all the front end libraries or framework. So what will it will run is basically it will create a it will be start running a build, and then it will create a folder for us where build folder will have all the content and everything that we need, right? So in full stack project, if you guys have noticed that we use gulp, right? So we use gulp to basically build that project build for us. So where we what happens is that we basically build our all js file or all view files and everything using gulp, right? So and then we generated a folder where we kept all those files. So what happens is that these build folders, these are getting served by the server when the users in production mode, these are basically get served. So you can guys can see that these are the files which are basically built for me. You guys clearly see. So you guys can see there is a js file, there is then all js file, then there is a service worker, then there is a css files, right? So these are built, and there is now dist folder which is getting which has got generated, right? So you guys can see that it has a js file, all js files are inside that, all my images are inside here, all my fonts are inside here, and all my css files are inside here, right? And you guys see also that there is a hash kind of files that is generated. So inside gulp also, if you guys remember when we fired the command gulp build, we basically write a code where we generated a hash js files and hash css files also, right? So this is the dist folder, and now all I need is this folder for me. Now the whole code of my all the codes that are basically built, and it is residing in my this dist folder, right? So I am going to need this dist folder in and I'm going to give this to my server, and my server is going to serve this index.html folder that is residing inside my dist folder, right? So all now my front end job is done for me. I have basically created a front end repo, everything is done. Now I run a npm run build, it generated a build folder, and now all I have done, I mean I am going to give it this folder to my node server, and I'm going to say, okay man, serve this index.html file, right? So let's just open our backend code, backend repo. Right, so this is basically my, let me just cancel all these open file. right? So this is now my, I mean, you guys will be pretty much familiar with this thing. So let me show you index.js file. So this is my node server, right? So you can see this is the port 3000. I am basically creating an express app here, and I am then basically requiring my database. Then I am requiring a passport JWT, and then you guys can see that there is a lot other stuff that I am doing. So let me explain you guys all the steps for, right? So this express.json, I mean, you guys must be knowing what it is used for. Let me ask this also to Gaurav. Can you tell me? It is happening inside root div. What you are saying, Gaurav?
Hello.
Yes, Gaurav.
Huh. Can you repeat the question?
I think
Hello.
there is. Yeah. Yes, Gaurav. So the question is that what is the use of express.json?
Okay. This one. This is, I think, used for parsing the JSON
Yes.
data. Yeah.
Yes. This is used for passing the data that basically we send from the front end. So that is okay, and you guys see that we are basically exposing our uploads folder, because so that uh, our app will be knowing that I need to basically expose this slash uploads for and that will be basically serving if that particular route comes, then I will be basically serving the contents from my this directory, that is uploads, right? And you guys see that I am also exposing my, I am also saying my app to use build folder also. So this build is nothing. Let's just delete this first, right? And let's just delete this, and basically let's just copy the build folder that we generated using npm run build, right? So I told that I am going to give that build folder to my server, and I am going to say that, okay man, this is your front end, use this front end for serving all the pages and everything. So let's just go to my for that particular folder. I have a UIC front end, right? And let's just copy that into UIC backend, right? Yeah. So I have a dist here, but basically I'm exposing build here, right? So let's just rename it to build, right? So now I'm exposing, I'm saying that my app to use this folder for, right? And in the next, anyone can anyone tell me why I'm using this? Varun, what is the use of this?
Hmm.
This is pretty familiar thing. I mean, you guys must have came
For
across.
middleware,
Sir, it's
is
for
it?
setting the headers and getting the access of what kind of
Acha.
request we can accept at this end.
Yeah, so this is basically, of course, Varun is right. So I am doing in order to avoid course error, right? So what happens is that if my domain, I mean, if my basically the origin is different, right? So here inside it won't give the error, but if I'm testing my APIs using a front end framework, and I'm trying to run that on localhost or some other domain, and then the basically the origin is different, then it will give a course error, that cross origin error, right? You most of you guys have came across that error if you guys have tried to access an API using your front end library, and then API is hosted somewhere else. So in order to avoid any kind of course error, I am using this. I am basically setting the response header, and I'm allowing all kind of method, that is get, post, put, delete, all these things. So this particular piece of code is basically to in order to resolve course error, right? But in development mode, of course, if my front end, and right now I'm serving my build folder and all the APIs I'm accessing from the same origin, so in production mode it won't give an error, but in development mode, if I would have removed this particular piece of code, it will give me an course error, right? So this particular piece of code, I mean, this is pretty okay. You guys know pretty well. I basically tried to test some pages, so I use this Vue engine, but there is no need of that because the for Vue we are using a front end library, right? So the most okay, so let's just discuss this particular piece of code, right? And I think this one is also pretty much clear. So let's ask this to Monica. Monica, can you tell me why I am using this, what this particular piece of code is doing? So this is a backend code, but it's at least let's just, I mean, you should be knowing that why I'm using this, why I'm doing this. Monica, can you hear me? Monica, if you are speaking, you are mute, on mute. Okay, let's just ask this. No, let's just ask to Gaurav. Any idea?
Hello.
Yes, Gaurav.
Yeah, it's basically sending the file to the given path. I-
Yeah, so yes, okay, so the thing is that I will discuss this uh, after, at the end of the discussion. So let's just move forward, because then you will understand why I'm using this. So now this is pretty straightforward, but now the main thing is basically you have a build folder and there is an index.html. You need to solve this index.html, right? So what I am going to do is that when the user goes on home route, I am going to solve this space. So for that, let's just go to our routes, and let's just go to, in routes we have to go to index.js, right? And you guys can see that here I am doing the most important thing, and that is basically to sending, when I am trying to access the home route, I am send what I am sending, I am sending the index.html that is residing inside my build folder, right? So as I already told you that my index.html file is going to hold all the content and or everything of my front end, right? My front end project, everything of my front end, because this is a single page application. So all the thing that I have done in my front end, that will be there in index.html file, right? And I am basically sending this particular file to as my response, right? So when I'm going to this particular route, I am rendering my index.html, and that's all I need to incorporate my front end view in my backend. So this is the linkage that you need to do when you are basically deploying your mon stack, or your basically any kind mean stack, mon stack, or even view, when you're basically you are basically linking your front end using your backend server, right? So this is the important thing, and that's where the whole thing will be getting served from where, right? So apart from this, everything else is nothing but the APIs that I made. So let's just try to run this and see on our local server, and then we will be deploying this to AWS. So in the meanwhile, let me just open my AWS account.
Do we need credit card to create account on AWS?
No, 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 you need debit card only. Oh god, let's just see. You only need a debit card. No credit card is required. Let me log in.
But I have heard that you if there are some I have heard I've
हेलो
seen
गौरव
some post. Hello.
हेलो गौरव
Yeah.
रुपए कार्ड नहीं चलता इसमें इसमें डेबिट कार्ड में वीजा कार्ड है तो चलेगा
Okay. Okay. Fine. Thank you.
What you're saying? You have heard something?
Yeah, I've seen some post and articles like if you are do something wrong in like some instance remain
Hmm.
running, then
Hmm.
we are getting charged a lot like that.
Yeah, that those scenarios doesn't happen again. We are using basically EC2 instance. So I mean those are comes inside free of cost. The only time that I have to pay was basically when I was running two instance at a time. When I was basically for one instance I'm using to serve one of my clients production server, and another one was for my own. So that time I got a charge of 72 rupees, and the other instance was that when I'm testing some application on my company, so I got some charge of around 230 rupees that was reimbursed by the company. So it doesn't happen. Those kind of things are pretty rare, and generally they send a warning mail also. But yes, there are some instances, services inside AWS which if you basically forget to delete or shut down, then it will just keep on operating, and that will basically generating a bill, and that will be added into your billing, and they will send you a bill of that money. But there is no need to for that. If you are using EC2, there is nothing that I have never faced any kind of those situations. That's quite rare. Let's just see the password. Cool. So I think, yes, what I was doing, I was trying to start, right? Okay, they do not have bus, so let's just nodemon index.html, not index.html, index.js. Right, so this will start the server, and I need to switch the second VS code because my laptop will start getting hang if I don't close this. It seems like it is started hanging. Cool. So fine. So let's just open the EC2. And I think as of now there is no instance that is running, but I did do have two instances. Okay, let's just go to EC2. Let's just try to find out. Cool. So let's just start this. Nothing here. Okay. Those, let's just see why it's not showing the instances. Mm-hmm. Mm. Okay, guys. So let's just create one instance, right? And see. So you need to go to AWS, then you have to go to EC2, then you have to create an instance. All right, and you need to select Linux Ubuntu 18.04 64-bit, which comes under free tier eligible. So you need to click on that, and then you need to review and launch. That is fine. Everything is fine. And then you need to click on launch, and then you can choose this particular thing, or you can create a new pair. So let's just rename is deploy. Yeah, then I need to do, so you need to basically download this key pair, and you need to keep this one safe, because this is the this will be containing the keys, the file which will be used to authenticate you when you try to access its console, right? When you need to connect to this particular instance using console. So let's just wait for it. Of course, I do have this particular thing. Right, guys? So let me basically show you guys using this one. Okay, let's just show this one. So it will take some time to get started. So till then, let me delete these two instances. This first one especially, because I don't really need it. Can I? Okay, guys. So we have this instance, and we can see the IP here, right? So the IP is this. Let's just see. Yeah. So this is our IP. Now what I need to do is basically need to log in this instance. So for that, I need to be firing some command. So let's just first do is that place this particular file at right place. So guys, if you have any doubt, you can ask me directly, because this is going to, right? So let's just first search. Let me search first, right? So this is the command, that is sudo ssh, and then you need to give the file a path of your PEM file. That is nothing but this one, deploy.pem, right? So where it is? Okay, yeah. So this particular file, that is deploy.pem. So let me give it deploy.pem, and then you need to basically write this thing. Oh, yeah. Ubuntu at the rate, you need to copy the IP of your instance, just paste it, and it will, I am using it in sudo mode, so of course it will ask me a password for me. And with the first time, you need to say this to yes, right? So this is all we need. So right now I have been connected to my EC2 instance, that is the Ubuntu machine that is being provided by the cloud machine that is getting provided by your AWS, right? So I am inside it, right? If I try to do ls, there is nothing out here. There is nothing out here, right? You see, there's nothing out here. So if I try to access the hidden file, you guys can see these basically best file that are there. So now we had got a machine, cloud machine, and we have access to it. So let's just start get ready with all the stuff that we need, right? So first of all, I need node.js to run my project. So let's just install node.js using nvm. So let me fire search for it, the command install nvm on Ubuntu, and I think this particular thing will be clear. I don't install node.js, I want to install nvm. Okay, let's use this one. Yeah, that is, I got the whole thing. So you need to basically search for these thing, and you need to run this. Permission denied, could not open log file where live. Okay, let's just give sudo permission, right? So it is basically doing this stuff. So let's just copy it and run it. So as of now, I am basically accessing my cloud machine, the your instance that I created using in AWS. So this thing will be pretty fast because this is happening inside that machine, and it do have access of pretty good internet. So as of now, we are trying to install NVM. Then we will install Node using NVM. Let's just paste the last command, and this will be finally installing NVM -v. Okay, so it is asking me ascending, so starting to end out best, close the report and will start using NVM. So seems like I need to close it. Cool. So let's just exit. Does it exit? Yeah. So as you guys can see that I have basically closed the connection with the my cloud machine, and I am as of now on my local machine, right? You guys can see that this is my machine. So let's just again connect to our cloud machine. Yeah, and I need to source my profile also. Let's just see, right? So as you guys now see that I have connected to my cloud machine. This Ansu changed from Ansu to Ubuntu. So let's just source our profile and then try to run NVM version, right? So okay, so this is NVM version, not NVM v. Okay, so you guys can see we have successfully installed NVM. So now let's just install NVM install node. Let's just see what is the latest version that I have. Anyone tell me the latest version quickly? I think 12.46 I'm using. Okay, I can also list that, right? NVM ls. Okay, node 12.14.1 NVM install. So if I write node, it will install the latest one if I am not wrong.
इंस्टॉल की स्पेलिंग गलत है अंशु.
Okay. Okay, so first you need to install NVM, then you need to install node using NVM, and when you run NVM install node, it basically, yeah. So you guys can see now. Let's just try to see the node version. It is 15.4. That is the latest one, and npm version pm-v. It is 7.0.15, right? So these are two versions that. So we have successfully installed it. Now let's just do one thing is that first let's just clone the repos, our GitHub repos, right? So for that, okay, because this is new on my private repos, so create a SSH key. Okay, guys. So the thing is that all these both repos are private one, and for that I need to create a SSH key. So this is also a good thing for you. So whenever you need to create a SSH key, you need to create using this, right? So this is the what have yeah. So I have created a SSH key for my machine, and I will be adding that in my GitHub account. So there is a file to see that. There is a cat command to see. Let's just search for that. Cat command to get SSH public key. So I will be getting my public key, and I will be adding that into my GitHub so that I can clone. I am basically granting access to my machine to basically clone my private repos, and for that I am adding SSH key, right? So you guys can clone public what it is saying. Yeah, here it is. So you guys can clone public repos easily without adding any SSH key or anything. But if you have to clone private repos, you need to be adding SSH keys to your GitHub account, right? So let's just go there and add a new SSH key. So I am exposing my all details, but it's okay. I hope I will be deleting this one after this session. Okay, guys. So now I can clone or any repo, and now let's just go to my repos, go to my account, your repositories, and let's just clone this one. Let's just copy this and run git clone. Yes. So this will be cloning that repo. Now we have cloned the repo. Let's just go inside that folder. And what we need to do is, what I need to run first. I need to first install all the dependencies, right? So I need to run npm install. So npm install will be basically installing all the dependencies that my project need. It will be pretty fast because yeah. So now basically I can do run it using this index.html, not html, index.js. Okay, so it is saying upload.array. Okay, so the particular code, this is the earlier code that I am using. So let's just try to access this, and let me comment this one. Let's just try to run this now. Yeah, so you guys can see that now my project is running on port 3000, right? So I can access this. I can easily access this, and that I can access using the IP. This is the public IP that I can connect, and I have exposed port 3000. But there is one error that it will give. So can anyone tell me quickly, if you guys have watched the full stack series, this won't be loading. Why? Varun, any idea? Varun is there?
No, I forgot.
Okay, so the thing is that I have not allowed created an inbound of Expo 3000 from my. I have not opened 3000 from my this machine, and I need to basically open that particular port for public use, right? So for that I need to go to where I need to go to security. Seems like, let's just know. Okay. Yeah. I need to go to security pair. Seems like, just go to, yes, this is security. This is security groups, and I have to edit the inbound, and I have to add here one rule. Custom TCP, yes, the port is 3000. Anywhere. Okay. Is it custom TCP or HTTP? I think it is custom TCP. Okay, now let's just delete this one. I don't. Let's just save this one, and it will create. It will basically expose the port 3000 for public use, right? So now it basically shut this down. Right, you saw it basically throwed an error also. Now let's just try to run this again. error in connected this. Okay. Okay. So it seems it is not connected to my database. So let's just try to just quickly see the whether I am giving my atlas URL or not. So let's just see our mongoose.js, and I'm giving my local host, which I don't need to give. I need to give my Mongo URL. Okay, this is not. Let's just go again. So as of now, what happening is that it is trying to access localhost. It is trying to connect localhost URL, but of course, I do not. I haven't installed Mongoose on locally, so I'm using it using my Atlas one. So for that, what I need to do is that I need to pass a URL here. So let's just do that. I'm trying to edit code on production mode, right? So this is really this you should not be doing, because whatever changes that you are making as of now here will be reflecting directly, because this is a production mode code. But of course we don't have time, so we are doing it. Let's just save this, go back, and now again fire our node index.js, and I hope it just get connected now. Yeah, so you guys can see we are connected to database. So now let's just try to access the port again, and I really forget what was the IP of my this thing. Okay. Let's go back one more instance. Here it is. I will be getting the IP. This is my public IP. And try to access the port 3000. So guys, you guys now you guys can see that, right? It is serving the pages, right? It is serving me this page. So that means we have successfully deployed our application, and now you guys can see that I can access that using a public IP, right? So this is my public IP, but as of now there is a two problem with that. First, I need to access it using a port. So whenever you go to somewhere, if I try to access it, the production that live one that I have did, right? So I am going it I'm accessing it using the domain name, right? And you guys know that the domain name is mapped to the IP, so I'm not typing something like 3000, right? So that means that I have to get rid of that this thing. So for that, what you need to do is that we need to install in nginx, and there is two way to do that. First way to basically use nginx and use reverse proxy, and where then we can divert our whole traffic to this port, to the port 80, that is the http port, where I don't need to pass any extra port, and by default it runs on 80 port number 80. But the second way of doing that, if I don't want to basically run use reverse proxy, I can directly run my project on port 80, right? So that in that way I don't have to give a port like that. So we will be seeing both the thing, but there is some other problem, right? The second problem is that if I close my, because of course I need to close this one, right? And if I close this thing, and I go exit from my cloud machine, my project, my this particular thing will stop. I again forgot that. So if I try to access that, you see that this side is not reached. So that means that we need to keep running this server, right? And for that we have to we will be using pm2. So let's just install pm2. So I think I can directly install it using this command, npm install pm2, and I will be installing it globally. So basically pm2 is nothing but it will be basically a package which basically run our server in background. So even we are logged out, we have closed down the machine, it will be running the server in background, right? So let's just do that. Let's just run our code using pm2, and that is pretty simple forward. So first let's just try to do that. Do I have anything any server running using PM2, and there is nothing out here. So let's just run the server using PM2, and we can basically do that using this particular file, right? So PM2 start index.js. So you guys can see now my server is online and it is running in background. And if I try to access this particular thing, it will be running, right? And now let's just exit out of it. I have closed down my cloud machine, and now I am my local machine. Let's just see that whether my server is running or not. As you guys can see, it is running, right? So we use PM2 in order to run our server background mode, right? So now let's just again get connected to it. So the first problem we have solved. The only problem that as of now we are registering is that we are exposing, when anyone can know that we are exposing our port 3000, and anyone can attack this one because this port 3000 is open, and anyone can easily do some kind of handshake with this particular port, and they can inject anything, and that will basically any malware and anything, and that will take down the whole server, right? So we don't have to basically expose our server port and allowing saying that to the whole world that, okay man, this is the port where I am running my server. So we don't have to do that. So for that we need to use nginx. So let's just use the in the next also, so that everything will be clear in today's session only. And if you guys want to see the log, you can basically see the logs. What it is saying, PM2.
हेलो
Okay.
अंशु,
Yes.
वो हमने एपीआई डिप्लॉय कर दिया क्या?
हाँ हाँ, बैकएंड जो मेरी पूरी की पूरी बैकएंड जो कोड है वो उसमें तो एपीआई पड़े ही हुए हैं, और हम लोग फ्रंट एंड ऑलरेडी ऐड कर ही लिया था।
अच्छा अच्छा, ठीक है। तो हमें मतलब अगर हम पोस्टमैन पे वो क्या नाम है पोर्ट डाल के चलाएंगे तो चलेगा, मतलब पोर्ट?
हाँ हाँ, पोस्टमैन में पोर्ट डाल के चलाएंगे तो चलेगा।
अच्छा,
ओके। It seems like didn't install PM2 globally. Okay, no issues. We will be seeing that. So that is okay. Seems like let's just run that PM2 thing again. PM2 install PM2 globally. This is the same command, right? Let's just see that. Install PM2, and yeah, it is the same command. PM2 install, that is install PM2 -g. Why didn't it? Okay. Why this thing is giving weird thing is happening here? Uh-huh. Okay. npm -v. Okay. Okay, so it seems like this problem is coming. Yeah, and now everything will be there, I guess. What? Mm-hmm. Just a second, guys. Just a second. There is some bug which was there while installing npm, which has created something for us. And what is happening that we have lost our npm package, right? It seems like that. And it should work when I run this curl command. Source getting ready in home.bash src. Okay, let me close this thing. Now let's just connect again. Just don't say that I need to install everything again. And npm -b. Okay. Okay, so even node is, they have just nvm. Do I have nvm? nvm version. Okay, nvm is there, but this is the command. Just a second, guys. There is some. I think so you need to install everything using the correct way. I have installed nvm using this particular piece of block, which is of course create some bugs. So you need to take care of that. And what is happening is that when I'm logging out, it basically deleted all those things. So I need to install this package again, and this is a pretty frustrating thing to do, but this happens sometimes. So let's just start this. It won't take much time. Okay, I need to install it. And we install. This is, and then let's just do npm install. I'm just typing the okay, so everything is there. Now let's just install pm2 again, because that also got removed by this bug. Where is this? Yeah. And now let's just install nginx also. So reverse proxy using nginx express server. Yeah, so let's just configure reverse proxy for us, and for that we need to install nginx. So let me just install nginx also. npm install nginx, and it will be installing that. So let me see show you guys what I am trying to do. Right, so as of now port so this is port 3000. Guys, let's just write this there. This is my port 3000, which is serving the pages. So I don't want to basically use port 3000. I will create a port, one more port. Okay, and that will be port 80, and I will be serving this traffic using this port, and this port will be basically communicate getting the all traffic with this port 3000. And I am blocking this particular port from to outside world. So the outside world will be communicating through port 80, but inside my project, nginx will be forwarding the whole traffic to 3000. Right, so I mean the 3000 traffic will be forwarded to 80. So this is called reverse proxy. So that's the thing I'm going to do. So we have installed nginx. Now let's just go and access this particular thing. So need to run this particular piece of code first. I'm deleting this default, which are generally by default empty, but still we are okay. It is saying cannot, no file or directory available. Okay, no issues. Let's just try to access this thing. Okay, I copied this thing. I don't need to copy the dollar sign. Yeah, cannot remove. Okay, it still cannot remove. No issues. Let's try to open that if that is not the issue. Yes. So we have opened that. Now copy paste this whole thing. Let's copy paste it. And here, so here I can write my domain name or my IP. Right, I can write my domain name or my IP. So let's just copy my IP. And the IP was this particular thing. Let's just copy paste this. Perfect. And I will be passing the proxy request to my port 3000. So let's just first delete this. Okay. Okay. Space, control P, delete. Port is 3000, right? Control Shift, right? Can't open file for writing. What is happening? Why I am on? Haven't I used open it in sudo mode? Okay, let's just do this. Okay, no issues. Let's just. It seems like it is not able allowing me to write it. Let's just go back. Write anything here. Insert. Write anything. Okay, still not allowing. No issues. Why not allowing? Mm-hmm. Let me go to this particular place. A lot of things happening. CD and then X. Why and then X not there? LS. Let's just see whether we have Nginx or not. Oh, N. Where is N? Okay. Let's just search for the command to install Nginx. It seems like Nginx haven't installed correctly. Install Nginx on Ubuntu. Okay, let's just. Okay, so I think it's not the npm which install Nginx. It's pretty good. No, let's just install that. So what was happened was that I tried to install it using npm. So Nginx is not a node package. So of course, I can't use npm to install, right? Ugh. Okay, so now let's just see the Nginx status also. I think I can run these all commands given. Wait for it, guys. This is a bit lengthier process, of course. But now we are at the end of our whole deployment process. And as you guys can see, the Nginx is running. That is pretty good. Let's just quit it. And now let again try to access me the particular block of code that I was trying to access. Right. So let's just now I will be able to do this because we do have Nginx. Yes. And let's just open that particular file and let's just copy this. So we are forwarding our all the traffic to the port 80. Let's just write our IP here. So copy. This is my IP. Let's come again here. Delete this whole thing. Proxy pass, copy the IP. Even that won't give any issues. The port is 3000. and I think everything is now ready and set go. Yes, finally we saved that thing. And after that, what I need to do is need to test this command. Let's run this. Configuration syntax is okay. Configuration test is successful. That is really good. Just reload this, and I think we are ready. We are okay. So we are finally good. But what is the one need? One more thing is need to done is that I need to expose port 8000 to the public group. So let's just do that. Go to securities. I need to open the port 8000 for all the public to access, and I can delete 3000, but of course I can delete that in future. But let's just open http. Where is http? Yes, and here anywhere, right? So it will create a bound. That is fine. Yes, great. And let's just go to home. Ubuntu, I guess. Cd UIC. Run our thing. PM2 list. There is nothing. Yeah, there is already there. So let's start that. Restart index.js. Yes, everything is good. And now let's just try to access it using without only IP. So if everything will be good, this will be loading our application. So guys, see, now we have successfully removed the port, and now the we have configured using nginx. So now we have diverted our traffic to port 33280, and we have easily configured nginx, and we have basically used reverse proxy to divert all the traffic from 3000 to 80, right? So that's the basically way to that. And now I can easily map this particular piece of IP to end domain, and I can use it. So, and if you guys, any one of you want to basically make it HTTP, HTTPS, that is also pretty good. You can use a free HTTPS that I will basically show you in the next some lectures. But I think we have successfully deployed our node application here, right? And we have configured everything. If I just quit this, uh exit, not quit, let's just exit. I've closed the connection. Now my server is running perfectly fine, right? So you have seen everything is running really good, and I can do everything that I want to do. So that's all we have basically done. We have basically first, let's just note down the steps that we did, right? So first we, let me write down here. First we build our front end. Second, we store build folder index.html from node server, create EC2, and then connect to EC2 console using keys and IP, install nvm, install node, git clone repo, run npm install, install pm2, okay, install pm2, run server on background, use nginx, nginx as reverse proxy to hide port. Okay guys, so these are the steps that we had followed, and if you have any doubt on any of the steps, I mean that was a really lengthy one, but if you have any doubt you can ask right now. Yeah, latest is 15.5. So by default nvm uses latest. If you want to give the 14.14, you can easily give a nvm install node and I write down the package version name. So guys, anyone have any doubt?
Hello.
Yes, Gaurav.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask that, like that, we have started our one project in that particular instance. We call it instance, no?
Yeah, EC2 instance.
Okay, okay. So can we deploy more than one project on a same server, like on same
Yeah.
instance?
Yes.
Okay, it is like our Ubuntu, na? Like we are using
Yes.
here.
Yes. Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
You can install more than one thing, but the IP will be same. So you need to configure Nginx to serve multiple file.
Okay, yeah, different route. Okay.
Yes, you need to create kind of subdomains and stuff, and you need to solve that differently using Nginx. But you can totally do that. Anyone have any other doubt?
हेलो अंशु
Yes, Rahul.
And also
और
the वो send file वाला भी बता देना एक बार दोबारा. Index को कह रहे थे ना, बाद में बताओगे.
Okay, 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 okay. So, okay, let's just stop this. I don't want to run this on local. There is no need of. We have already deployed that. So ये मैंने इसलिए यूज किया है because any route if user want to type apart from the route that I am configured, so this will on that when we say star, it symbolizes that any route. So generally what happens is we serve 404 file. I can create a 404.html and I can serve that, but as of now I am basically serving my home page. So I'm saying that if user go and type in something stupid, let's just open that thing project, right? And I try to go to this route, but I am not handling that using backend or the front end. So what it will be happening is that it will basically yes, they have added a 404 now. I mean Ankit has added, seem like, but we can basically go out there and you can basically forward the same stuff using on the same route. And another thing is that if I go to this particular piece of thing and if I say controller, so if you are not handling this piece of code, if I'm not writing this piece of code, what will happen? It will give me cannot load route error. So I need to do this. So these are the two application of this particular piece of code, nothing else. So this is the one use case or one feature, one simple problem that comes after the deployment that you need to tackle. Okay guys, so anyone else have any doubt? बहुत ही लंबा चीज थी. I don't want to hear any from you too that I'm not able to deploy a Node app or anything or React app or a MERN app on AWS. I mean I have covered everything, every possible thing. So अगर कोई doubt है तभी पूछ लो.
हेलो अंशु वो REST API डिप्लॉय करेंगे तो उसमें अलग से कुछ index.html कोड सोर्स डालना पड़ेगा या मतलब बिना उसके हो जाएगा वो कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं करेगा
यार जो मैंने git clone किया ना, रेपो है, चलो वहां पे दिखा देता हूँ कनेक्ट करके. वो क्लोन में ऑलरेडी वहाँ पे पहली बात तो index.html फाइल तो नहीं होती है APIs. तो पूरी जो बैकएंड कोड है ना, वो पूरी APIs बैकएंड तुम्हारा सर्वर ही चल रहा है ना.
हाँ
तुम्हारे बैकएंड कोड में लेट जस्ट गो टू UIC एंड लेट मी शो यू. सो ये पूरी तुम्हारी बैकएंड की कोड है. यहाँ पे राउट्स पड़े हुए हैं ना, वो जो APIs होते हैं यहाँ पे होते हैं, तो वो सारे चल रहे हैं क्योंकि तुम्हारी सर्वर ही चल रही है ना. बट यहाँ पे तुम्हारी फ्रंट एंड में तुम्हारी बिल्ड पेज सर्व हो रहे हैं. यहाँ पे जब index.html में जाएगा तो वहाँ पे जाएगा. बाकी कोई और राउट है जैसे कि लेट जस्ट सी, यहाँ पे कुछ राउट्स बना रखे होंगे मैंने और किसी को एक्सेस करते हैं. cd routes ls और लेट जस्ट ट्राई टू एक्सेस दिस लेटेस्ट अपडेट. अभी तो कुछ सर्वर में होगी नहीं, बट तो मिलेगी नहीं, बट ठीक है, गेट रिक्वेस्ट ला के देख लेते हैं, है ना. तो
ठीक है
इसको ओपन कर लेते हैं. लेटेस्ट यहाँ से पता चल जाएगी कि क्या है उसकी राउट्स. एयर इंडेक्स डॉट. तो अगर मुझे लेटेस्ट अपडेट चलानी है तो पहले तो ये करनी पड़ेगी गेट. तो चलते हैं यहाँ पे कंट्रोल H, ये रही ना API. तो यहाँ पे तो इस पेज पे ये हो रही है, बट अभी लेटेस्ट अपडेट करते हैं और फिर कौन सी है API की राउट. चलते हैं यहाँ पे लेटेस्ट अपडेट पे, लेटेस्ट अपडेट जा रहा है और यहाँ पे कोई गेट रिक्वेस्ट देखते हैं, गेट अपडेट्स. तो ये मेरी एक API है जो कि मुझे सारी अपडेट बताती है निकाल के सर्वर से. तो देख रहे हो अभी मेरे कुछ भी API में कुछ भी डेटा नहीं है क्योंकि खाली है सब कुछ. तो मुझे ये मिल गई, ये APIs काम कर रही है ना तुम्हारे यहाँ पे,
हाँ ये पोस्टमैन पे चलेगी ना, ऐसे ही आएगी डेटा।
ये पोस्ट में भी ऐसे ही आएगी।
अच्छा ठीक है।
तो ये पूरी पूरी सर्वर है, बैकएंड है तुम्हारी, वो पूरी पूरी लाइव है। तो ऑब्वियसली सारी APIs काम ही तो, when I'm saying that this is a whole project, that means the front end and back end everything is together, right? So that means that all of your APIs, your front end is consuming those APIs, so of course your APIs are live, that's why the data are coming, right?
Okay. और वो हमने कोर्स क्यों लिखा था, मतलब कोर्स के लिए, मतलब वो क्यों लिखते हैं, कोर्स किस लिए यूज होता है?
कॉर्स यार इसलिए होती है कि अगर तुम लोकल होस्ट पे, अगर मैं तुम अपने फ्रंट एंड पे चला रहे हो और तुम्हारी बैकएंड APIs लाइव है पहले, ठीक है, किसी दूसरे सोर्स पे,
अच्छा
तो लोकल होस्ट अलाउ नहीं करती है दूसरे किसी ओरिजिन पे किसी दूसरे APIs पे रिक्वेस्ट करने के लिए, अनटिल अनलेस मैं उसको खुद अलाउ करूँ। ये ब्लॉक हो गई थी लेटेस्ट डेवलपमेंट में, उन्हें ये बोला था कि अगर दो ओरिजिन डिफरेंट हैं तो वो दोनों ओरिजिन एक दूसरे के डेटा को शेयर नहीं कर सकते हैं, ताकि
अच्छा
सेफ्टी इश्यूज की वजह से। तो इसीलिए बाद में कोर्स को हम लोग हैंडल करते हैं, ताकि हम बोलते हैं ठीक है, वो मैं समझता हूँ, वो सारे इश्यूज मैं अलाउ कर रहा हूँ अपने हेडर्स में, तो मैं अलाउ कर देता हूँ, हम लोग अलाउ कर देते हैं। बट जब प्रोडक्शन मोड में जाती हैं तुम्हारी फ्रंट एंड और बैक एंड, तो वो तो सेम ही मशीन पे होती है ना, फ्रंट एंड और बैक एंड भी, तो
अच्छा
वहाँ पे कॉर्स का इशू नहीं आता है। बट जनरली डेवलपमेंट मोड में आती है, या किसी और XYZ का API तुम यूज कर रहे हो अपने अपने प्रोजेक्ट में, तो अभी
अच्छा
तुम्हारी प्रोजेक्ट की कोड किसी एक दूसरे IP पे चल रही है, दूसरे मशीन पे चल रही है, और तुम एक API यूज कर रहे हो किसी बंदे की, वो किसी तीसरे उस पे चल रही है। तो अगर उस बंदे ने कॉर्स एरर हैंडल नहीं किया होगा, तो वो डिफरेंट ओरिजिन हो गया, और डिफरेंट ओरिजिन के बीच में डेटा शेयर हो रही है, तो बाय डिफॉल्ट उसको जो तुम्हारी फ्रंट एंड क्रोम है उसको अलाउ नहीं करती है।
तो कोर्स का जो हमें डिफाइन करना होगा वो बैकएंड में डिफाइन करना होगा?
हाँ, कॉर्स की जो भी इश्यूज है सारी बैकएंड में हैंडल होती है, फ्रंट एंड से हैंडल नहीं होती है। फ्रंट एंड से तुम एक काम कर सकते हो कि एक बंदे ने, किसी ने वो बीच में वो बना रखी थी हुरोku पे courseanywhere.com समथिंग लाइक दैट, उसको करके तुम कुछ कर सकते हो। तो उसमें क्या होती है, तुम्हारी जो ट्रैफिक होती है, रिक्वेस्ट होती है, वो उसके सर्वर के थ्रू चली जाती है, तो वो वहाँ पे हेडर को ऐड कर देते हैं। इसमें कुछ नहीं करने होता, बस वो हेडर ऐड करने होते हैं, तो वो एक ऐड कर सकते हो। अगर बैकएंड से किसी ने हैंडल नहीं किया है तो फ्रंट एंड में वो ऐड करके भेज सकते हो, बट जनरली बैकएंड से हैंडल होती है वो सारी की सारी प्रॉब्लम।
अच्छा, और ये PM2 इंस्टॉल क्यों किया था, मुझे समझ में नहीं आया start।
PM2 इंस्टॉल किया था ताकि वो हमारे सर्वर को बैकएंड में चला सके, बैकग्राउंड में चला सके,
अच्छा
ताकि मैं जब अपना वो क्लोज कर दूं अपना सिस्टम, तो भी चलते रहे वो, क्योंकि सर्वर तो मुझे हरदम चलते रहना चाहिए ना, तभी तो कोई भी बंदा आके उसको एक्सेस करेगा,
हाँ 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 ठीक है
इसीलिए।
ओके।
और डाउट किसी को कोई?
और इसमें यार चार्ज तो नहीं आएगा ना?
हम चेंज करते हैं जब हम 3000 से वापस पोर्ट 80 पे हम कनेक्ट कर रहे हैं, ये हम क्यों करते हैं, इसके बारे में थोड़ा सा डिटेल से बताओगे? जैसे आप कह रहे थे कि कोई हैक कर सकता है, कोई उसमें छेड़खानी कर सकता है,
वो मैंने इसलिए किया क्योंकि पहले मुझे जब
थोड़ा
एक्सेस
सा और।
करनी थी, हाँ, पहले मैं क्या हो रहा था कि मेरी जो प्रोजेक्ट है वो एक पोर्ट पे चल रही थी, राइट, 3000 पे। तो अगर मुझे उसकी एक्सेस करनी है, उस सर मेरी मुझे अपनी सर्वर को एक्सेस करनी है, तो मुझे वो पोर्ट 3000 लिखना पड़ रहा था, राइट। अगर तुम
ओके,
लोगों ने वो यूज किया होगा, कोडियल की API यूज किए होंगे ना, तो उसमें पोर्ट भी तुम्हें डालनी पड़ती है कि नहीं है? तो जनरली ये एक बहुत ही खराब वो होती है कि तुम पोर्ट को एक्सपोज कर रहे हो। मतलब यहाँ पे अगर तुम google.com पे जाते हो, तो google.com पे google.com टाइप करके जाते हो ना, google.com स्लैश कोई पोर्ट तो डाल के नहीं जाते हो ना, यहाँ पे /3000 करके। यहाँ पे पता चल रही है कि मेरी जो सर्वर है वो
हेलो,
3000 पोर्ट पे चल रही है। समझ में आया मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ, वरुण? हेलो।
हेलो।
हाँ गौरव।
हाँ, एक चीज पूछनी थी, जैसे काफी जैसे काली लाइनक्स वगैरह में होते हैं उबंटू, वो एसक्यूएल इंजेक्शन अटैक वगैरह जो भी होते हैं, तो क्या ये जैसे ये तो वो क्या डिपेंडेंट होते हैं कि अगर वो कोई मतलब डेटाबेस हमारा एसक्यूएल में है तो उसी पे अटैक हो सकता है, या मोंगोडीबी पे है जो जैसे मतलब नो एसक्यूएल डेटा है उस पे भी
नहीं
हो
यार,
सकता
वो
है क्या?
सीक्वल इंजेक्शन जो होते हैं वो जनरली क्या होती है, वो एक अटैक होते हैं जिसमें तुम्हारे डेटाबेस में कुछ डेटाबेस के टेबल्स होते हैं, उसको मैनिपुलेट करके कुछ वो एक प्रोग्राम को उसमें इंजेक्ट कर देते हैं, जो कि तुम्हारी डेटाबेस से प्ले ऑन करता है, और तुम्हारी डेटाबेस, अगर मैं तुम्हारी डेटाबेस को भर दूं ऐसे ही फालतू में, तो तुम्हारी जो तुम्हारी पूरी पूरी प्रोजेक्ट है वो डाउन हो जाएगी, या कुछ उसमें इशू हो जाएगी। तो वो लोग एसक्यूएल इंजेक्शन करके एसक्यूएल टेबल्स को निकाल लेते हैं, डेटा निकाल लेते हैं एसक्यूएल टेबल से। तो वो जनरली एसक्यूएल इंजेक्शन जो पहले पुराना वाला एरर वो था मेथड था, वो बेसिकली एसक्यूएल डेटाबेस में चलती थी, बट नो एसक्यूएल इंजेक्शन हो जाते हैं, बट वो डिफरेंट टाइप के वो होते हैं। बट नो एसक्यूएल ज्यादातर क्योंकि नया डेवलपमेंट हुआ तो ज्यादा पैचेज आ गया, ज्यादा सिक्योर है, एंड इवन एसक्यूएल वाला भी आजकल काफी ज्यादा सिक्योर हो गया है। सो वो तो ये इस डेवलपमेंट का इशू नहीं है, वो तो खैर सिक्योरिटीज का इशू है, एंड वो कुछ मेथड होते हैं जिसे तुमके वो करनी चाहिए।
ओके।
हाँ वरुण कुछ पूछ रहे थे यार, तुम्हारा जो ये था कि ये पोर्ट को हम एक्सपोज नहीं करते हैं, हम सिर्फ आईपी को एक्सपोज करते हैं। तो कोई भी यूजर कनेक्ट करना चाह रहा है तो मेरे आईपी से कनेक्ट करेगा ना, या डोमेन नेम से करेगा। डोमेन नेम भी आईपी पे ही मैप होते हैं। तो अगर तुमको किसी वेबसाइट पे जा रहे हो और तुमको पोर्ट लिखना पड़ रहा है, तो कोई भी यूजर नहीं चाहेगा कि पहली बात तो वो पोर्ट लिखे, और दूसरी बात ये है कि कोई भी डेवलपर नहीं चाहेगा कि आउटसाइड वर्ल्ड को ये पता चले कि मेरी सर्वर किस पे चल रही है। अभी सबको पता है मेरी सर्वर 3000 पे चल रही है। तो अगर मैंने ये बता दिया तो कोई भी अटैकर है, अगर उसको करनी होगी तो इस पोर्ट पे मुझे पता है कि अगर मुझे जो भी अटैक करनी है इस पोर्ट पे करनी है 3000 पे, तो अटैक करके ये तुम्हारे सर्वर को डाउन कर सकता है ना। तो इसीलिए हम कभी भी पोर्ट एक्सपोज नहीं करते हैं पब्लिक यूज के लिए। ओके गाइस, तो क्लियर है? और कुछ डाउट किसी को? ठीक है। Okay, Monica is saying please explain Heroku development with and without views backend next lecture. ठीक है मोनिका, we'll try to cover the Heroku deployment. ठीक है guys, so I think now we can wrap up today's webinar. Obviously थोड़ा लंबा चला गया क्योंकि हमने पूरा
जो विंडो में तो अच्छा ठीक है।
हाँ बोलो।
हाँ अंशु, वो विंडो में तो फिर हमें पुट्टी का यूज करना पड़ेगा क्योंकि वहां पे तो यूबंटू के लिए जैसा एसएसएच वो होता नहीं है ना।
हाँ विंडोज के लिए पुटी भी होता है, और आई थिंक चॉकलेटी भी होता है, तो बहुत मेथड्स हैं वो करने के लिए, बट कर सकते हो। तो आजकल तो मैक भी डाल दिया इन्होंने, AWS वालों ने मैक वाला भी डाल दिया, मैक इंस्टेंस भी डाल दिए। सो यू कैन डू दैट, बट जनरली प्रेफरेबल इज Ubuntu. Any developer prefer Linux. So that's okay guys, so it's time to wrap up. I think it was pretty clear every step. If you guys get stuck at any time of at any period of time, you can come back and again see the whole process, and I hope it was clear. So thank you for joining the session. Bye.